Good morning, my friends. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning is all I can say. And not about last night, about today's show. Who did I miss? Dolores said, Brooks and Chat, man oh man, last night was wild, isn't it always? Okay, TCB, Chrissy V. Oakley, Lisa, Slim Shady, Jules is in the house. I have a little announcement to make. And no, it's not about last night. I'm not a clickbaiter, okay? I'm not good at it. That's why you don't see me writing for the National Enquirer. Kamarie's father sent me a message at 6:44 a.m. He said, "Good morning. I had a talk with my people, and they don't think it's a good idea I do the show because of the gag order. I don't want anyone to get off because of something I disclose. I promise once this trial is over, you'll be the first one to get an interview if you still want to." And I said 100%. I said, if you just want to come on and thank everyone, you can. He said, just tell everyone I said thank you for their support and concerns for my daughter and family. Corey is a stand-up dude. He for sure is. And he's in the fight of his life to make sure that his daughter, Kamarie Holland, gets the justice that she deserves. And once we get into it, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about, because it is one of the worst things you're ever going to hear. I mean, ever. And the most important thing is justice for Kamarie. That is the most important thing. So I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible because the content is just beyond a trigger warning. Okay? It really is. Let's start with telling everyone good morning. How about that? Howdy, howdy, hello, howdy. Again, this case is beyond disturbing, way more disturbing than what you heard last night, but that's a different story altogether. Just trying to keep it light, my friends, which is almost impossible when you're talking about this case. Okay, hello, honey elder. How are you doing, honey? In December of 2021, Christy Sipple, who also goes by Christy Hoskins, she's on the right, and Jeremy Williams is on the left. She reported Kamarie missing. Well, she was only missing to the general public because she was not missing to her mother. She knew exactly where she was. Because after an intense investigation, the powers that be, the authorities, realized that she sold her. She sold her. And more charges came out. Here's one of the more recent ones. The man charged in the murder of a 5-year-old Georgia girl whose body was found in an abandoned East Alabama home recorded himself R-ing her after he had M'd her, according to newly released court documents. Jeremy Tremaine Williams is charged with capital murder in the course of kidnapping, capital murder in the course of R, capital murder in the course of sodomy, corpse abuse, and producing CP. This is one sick puppy. And the mother was in on it. Now, I had a conversation with her father, Corey, yesterday. And I said, did you at any point think that your ex was in on it? And he said, no, he didn't. He was pretty much blindsided like everyone else. Of course, for him, it hit a little different. Hello, evil CJ. I just cannot imagine the depravity of people. I just can't imagine. Let's do like we normally do, and we're going to go to the beginning, and just bear with me, because this case is a really hard one to talk about. But it's very important to talk about because Kamarie should not be forgotten, and she deserves her justice.
Year-old girl was reported missing from a Columbus home.
The same day she was reported missing, her body was found just before midnight in a Phoenix City house. Her name was Kamarie Holland. WRBL's Hannah James spoke to the father today. She joins us now. Hannah.
Teresa, Phil, last year, Russell County Sheriff Heath Taylor said this case started as a missing 5-year-old and quickly turned into the death and sexual abuse of a 5-year-old. Kamarie Holland was just 5 years old when her life was taken from her. The young girl was reported missing by her mother, Christy Sipple, the morning of December 13th of 2021. The search ended as the 5-year-old's body was found hours later in a vacant Phoenix City home.
It's a sad.
So she reports her missing. She says the door is wide open. They find her in an abandoned home. So people would think it's an open and shut case. What is going on? Evil CJ, did you win the lottery? CJ is making it rain. Wrong video. Sorry. Pat Kay said 2021 was not a good year for little children. No. Absolutely disgusting. Who would even think about something like this? You're just, and I'm so sick of people trying to normalize ped behavior. And it's not. There is a politician that says, well, just like, people can't choose whether they're gay or straight, there are people that can't turn off being attracted to children. Well, I've got a cure for it, but nobody asks me. I've got a cure for it. Get your hands off our babies.
13th of 2021. The search ended as the 5-year-old's body was found hours later in a vacant Phoenix City home.
It's a sad time to have to speak about a 5-year-old who we're having to work a case on a child who absolutely did nothing wrong.
Authorities discovered the owner of the vacant home to be Jeremy Williams. Williams was taken into custody almost immediately and charged with capital murder in the death of Kamarie Holland. 2 weeks later, the child's mother was arrested and charged in connection with her daughter's death. Police believe the two suspects knew one another but did not disclose how.
Look at her looking like Cousin It. Look at her with her hair pulled down. At least she didn't wear one of those COVID rags across her face like they're all so known for doing. As if anyone cares if one of their asses gets sick. Look at that. Hey, Blue Eyes, Dumplings. Look at that monster. And the thing is, she came right out of the chute saying, oh, these people are attacking me. And if that's their opinion, but I love my daughter more than anything. Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. Because you served her up on a platter to the, well, second to you, biggest monster she's ever come across.
Sippel's charges ranged from murder to sex crimes to human trafficking. Before Circuit Court Judge David Johnson issued a gag order in the case, Russell County authorities say a case of this magnitude affects everyone involved.
I've been in this business for 35 years, and it never is easy to watch a case like this or to even have to investigate it.
And I would ask that the community's thoughts and prayers remain with this family, because this is just a horrific experience that they're going through. And the information that they're learning about what Kamarie went through is just awful.
While Kamarie's family awaits justice, her father, Corey Holland, continues to feel the pain daily. The community has done just what...
And let me tell you something. My conversations with Corey, he is a stand-up dude. He is a family man. He loves his children. And I'm not trying to shame CPS today. That is not my goal here. But the visitation with Kamarie was supposed to be supervised. He did say that to me yesterday. Well, it wasn't. And imagine what kind of a sack full of assholes you would have to be to have your own time with your children supervised. Common Sense 101, so glad you're back. Angel Pieces, pay attention. CW and Donnie. Love you too, Dina. Unimaginable. No matter how much you can't stand your ex, no matter what a pain in the ass he was, gambling, drinking, spending your money, sleeping with the women, I don't know what it was. Or, you're a man and you're so sick of your wife, you just can't wait to get away from her. This would never cross your mind. But this is what happened to little Kamarie Holland, and her daddy deals with the anguish every day.
Justice, her father, Corey Holland, continues to feel the pain daily. The community has done just what Chancey asked by not forgetting Kamarie.
So I have a lot of support for our family, and I really, love that. But strangers as well, that really means a lot to me. Like a detective on the case, I seen him at a Christmas party the other day, and he just came up to me out of nowhere and, once again gave his condolences, saved my daughter in his phone. Like stuff like that, that means a lot. That keeps me strong. Just seeing that nobody's forgotten her, and how she's still touching folks, that's more than I can ask for.
Columbus will also continue to remember Kamarie every year on her birthday, November 23rd. This year, for what would have been Kamarie's 6th birthday, Mayor Skip Henderson proclaimed November 23rd to be Princess Kamarie Holland Day. The proclamation urges the community to, quote, remember the victims of child sexual assault and those lost to acts of violence, to celebrate their lives, and to work together to eliminate violence against children from our community. Phil, Teresa, Corey Holland says this past year has been indescribable. He says he is finding purpose in starting the Kamarie Foundation and the support from his family, friends, and the community. Back to you both.
Now, when the trial is over and the gag order is lifted, he has said that he will come on the show. He doesn't want to do anything to jeopardize his daughter's justice, but he is starting a foundation. And it's a very important foundation, very important. I've actually been urging Tyler and Brandy to start a foundation, much like the Kyron Horman Foundation, Elizabeth Smart, Sean Hornbeck, because when victims help victims, it is amazing. Let's get to the main suspect, allegedly. This is Jeremy Tremaine Williams, and his depravity is worse than you can imagine. What he did to this 5-year-old little girl is nothing I can wrap my head around. Nothing that I would even try to. He also has a long history of child abuse. Go figure. Go figure.
We're ready for trial. We've got everything we need, the witnesses, we've got everything we need to go to trial as soon as we get a court date.
Is that because of the video evidence that's available in this case?
It's the conglomeration of all evidence that we have in this case. There's substantial evidence that we believe we can present. We have the witnesses are all available, and there's going to be a lot of witnesses in this case, and so no, it's not.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of witnesses. Witnesses they did not anticipate, like our own mama. Dawn, Grandma of 3, thank you for gifting the Crime Lines and Lies membership. Enjoy your membership. We're going to have a lot of members' lives in the month of December. Christina said, lawyer looks exhausted. Yep, he does, because here's the thing. Attorneys, judges, first responders, they think they've seen it all. But let me tell you something. The devil has many hats. And this was one that nobody was expecting. When a child is unaccounted for, they pretty much assume that either some sort of abuse went wrong at the house, which it's never right. So I'm not trying to act like it's, just went a little too far that day. No. Or they got curious and wandered off. This was nothing that they expected.
There's going to be a lot of witnesses in this case, and so no, it's not just one thing, it's everything.
They know it's not ready for trial. There's so many more capital murder cases in this county ready for trial, and there's so much to be done in this case. But that's fine. We'll do what we got to do to make sure his constitutional rights are protected and he's given due process of law.
I'm thinking of taking this as fast as we can get a court date. So if it's ahead of some other cases, there are some cases that are already set that I know are set for the next couple of terms, but it's gonna be given priority.
Oh, you're damn right it's going to be priority, because the people in these communities are inflamed. Christina said, undead. Raymond, in your humble opinion, personally, I don't agree about CPS. What did she say? I said I wasn't going to get into the CPS matter, but if Madam Secretary says I have to, then I will. Because when they say that a child has to be supervised, then by God, that child better be supervised. Because had someone been supervising the visitation, this would have never happened. And let me tell you something. There's some other parents that are just kind of waiting in the wings right now for the old justice system to come knocking. You know the people I'm talking about. It didn't take the authorities too long to swoop in on Jeremy Williams and Nasty Christie. Because as much as she tried to act like she had nothing to do with anything, She gave all her toys away, my friends. She gave her toys away. All she wanted was sympathy for herself. Everything was I, me, and myself. Nothing about her daughter. Nothing. Could you imagine when the authorities sat her down and said, these are the extent of her injuries? Have a feeling she had a poker face on. Like, oh, really? Really? Uh-huh. You're going to find a lot of similarities in this case with another case we talk about.
County woman arrested in the murder of her 5-year-old daughter. Christy Sipple is facing 4 felony charges, including murder and human trafficking in connection to the death of Kamarie Holland. The little girl was abducted 2 weeks ago in Georgia. Officials say they found her body in an abandoned home that was previously owned by Jeremy Williams. Authorities say they found evidence of sexual abuse.
Please, parents, take care of your kids. Watch your kids. Be careful who your kids are around. Shouldn't have to state that, but it never hurts to remind everybody this is a bad world.
Williams is expected to face additional charges, including kidnapping, rape.
This is a bad world. 100%. Let's think about this. The extent of her injuries, I cannot even say on YouTube because it's too disturbing. True Crime Beat said CPS has a lot of problems. You're damn right, and so do the damn parents are supposed to be watching. It starts at home. Always has, always will. When you need a government agency to supervise you being around your own child, you are the goddamn problem. And the minute they're not looking, you decide to sell your child to a known drug dealer who does unthinkables with your own child, and you expect to get your child back. Okay, I'm just going to rent her out for a few hours, and then I'm going to play victim. Gotta be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me.
That world.
Williams is expected to face additional charges, including kidnapping, rape, and child pornography. He and Sipple are being held without bond in the Russell County Jail.
Now wait till you get a load of this. This is from Stressed Blessed True Crime. They have a lot of clips about Kamarie. Go sub up.
I'm Kamarie Holland's mommy, and she wouldn't want nothing in the world but to donate her toys to another little child that was in need because she was a very healthy child.
All right, you guys, bear with me. I may have to throw up. I may have to scream. I may have to cry. You know, I got accused of crying too much on another channel the other night. That's okay. Sometimes I can't control my tears. I'm going to put the link up real quick if anybody wants to come up and talk about this case with me. Little Wing, I'd love to have you up. Angel, Common Sense 101, whoever. Because this bitch makes me so mad. Watch, I'm going to get suspended for this show.
I'm Kamarie Holland's mommy, and she wouldn't want nothing in the world but to donate her toys to another little child that was in need because she was a very healthy child.
Oh, she looked like such a cute little girl.
She was a very sweet child. She was beautiful. Sweet soul. And this is, I see this and I touch my heart. So I stopped. That's what she was, mommy. Let's help that mommy. She's like that. She's like that. She we were at the gas station one time and we.
All right. I could not imagine losing a child. I could not imagine. And I have seen these women over the years acting like they just put their dog to sleep. This is not too long after Kamarie's horrific death. And she's giving her toys away. You heard me right. She's giving her toys away.
And I seen this and I touched my heart, so I stopped. That's what she was, Mommy. Let's help that, Mommy. She's like that. She's like that. We were at the gas station one time and we seen a family out there, and one of the little girls didn't have shoes on, and she said, Mommy, we can help them, Mommy, because I have so many pairs of shoes at home, Mommy. Let's give them my shoes, Mommy. And of course, we gave them her shoes because she's that caring. She had a heart. She had a spirit that she's been here before, and she was a blessing. She is a blessing.
Well, how are you coping?
I'm coping. I'm making it. The media is making me look like I'm some evil person, but I'm not. I'm a mommy, and I did not.
Bear with me. The media is making me out to be some sort of, monster, whatever. But she said, I'm a mommy. I'm a mommy. I have a feeling we have a few mommies in here. Let me ask you this. What mommy in here would say, well, I need some extra cash, so I'm just going to rent my child out for a little bit? No. Wouldn't even cross our minds. I'm a mommy. I'm a mommy. I'm a mommy. No, you're not. You're as bad as him, in my opinion.
Well, how are you coping?
I'm coping. I'm making it. The media is making me look like I'm some evil person, but I'm not. I'm a mommy, and I did not have nothing to do with this.
Funny, the news reporter didn't ask you if you had anything to do with it. It reminds me of the WJHL interview with Candace Wells when she's sitting there saying, well, if that's everyone's opinion about me, but I love my kids more than anything. Oh, really? 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 I was so overprotective over my children that it had to be someone, whoever watched them, it had to be someone I knew well. Grandparents. Hell, I wouldn't let the next door neighbor girls watch the boys. Not old Christy.
The media is making me look like I'm some evil person, but I'm not. I'm a mommy, and I did not have nothing to do with this. She was my life. I lived for her daily. She was my only girl. I had 3 boys and her.
Was she your youngest?
She was no, I have one more under her. I have my son under her. And it's hard. It's hard. I don't know if I'm coming or I'm going, but I'm doing it for her.
Do you have any support? Do you have people on your side? Someone's helping you?
Ain't nobody on my side. They didn't even tell me about the balloon release today.
Always about her. I have nobody on my side. They didn't even tell me about the balloon release today. They already suspected you had something to do with it. Tiffany said, girl, be glad you're way far from Texas. Don't get my girl Tiffany on your ass. Didn't tell me about the balloon release. Well, there's a Dollar General around there somewhere. Can't you have your own? They ain't telling me about the balloon release.
On your side, someone's helping you?
Ain't nobody on my side. They didn't even tell me about the balloon release today. They haven't even mentioned her funeral or nothing.
So will you get to decide that, or?
I don't think so. I think that's all Dad had custody of her.
Okay.
But you know what? I have my peace with her, and she's here in my heart, and that's all that matters.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I can't even fathom what you might be going through, but please know that our hearts and prayers are with you. And I know just at the station, we cover all kinds of news, but for whatever reason, just because of what happened, it has really hit hard for a lot of people.
And that's all you see over social media is her face. She was so loved. She was so loved.
Now she lived in Phoenix City.
Yes, she lived with Dad in Phoenix City, and she was with me. That Sunday I picked her up, and he prayed on her. I can't really talk about it. There's a gag order. So.
Okay, and we're not going to try to ask you to talk about that. Is her school doing anything?
I'm not sure. She was in school for like literally 3 weeks and then got kicked out because of coronavirus. Somebody tested positive in class. So we decided not to send her back. But she was so smart. She was just learning how to spell her name. She'd see a K somewhere. She's like, Mom, that's K-A-M-A-R-I-E. She was.
Explain why you had to have supervised custody, Christy. Explain why the daddy had sole custody. You were just recently allowed to see her, and it wasn't his decision from what I've been reading.
She was the best little girl ever.
So I understand she wanted to, I read somewhere.
The princess, she wanted to be a princess. You can tell her nothing. All my makeup ruined, but she wanted to be a princess. She can have it. She can definitely be.
What would you want viewers to know about your daughter?
She was just the sweetest girl in the world. You couldn't harm her. She was too sweet. Like, you could not harm that little girl because she's so innocent, so smart. She was fantastic. She was perfect.
Well, my heart aches for you. And please know our prayers are with you. I know Tony gave you her card.
Yes. So, I've dropped off some presents and I still have some more. I will bring because that's what she would want.
That's definitely what she would want. And is there anything that you want to say to our viewers about
life's short? Definitely keep your loved ones close. You never know when it's going to be the end. And I'm innocent. I had nothing to do with my daughter's disappearance or murder. I would never. She was my life.
Of course she was. She's your baby girl.
Exactly. Like, whoever could do that is just disturbing.
The gall of her. The gall of her. She was my life. Keep your children close. Keep your babies close. I'm innocent. Nobody is questioning her innocence. They're talking about her giving all the toys away. She touched on that briefly, saying that's what Kamarie would want. I don't know why these criminals, allegedly, think it's a good idea to try to sway the media to their side. Because guess what? Evidence doesn't lie. I don't care what YouTube tells us, or Facebook, or Reddit, or Twitter. Evidence doesn't lie. And the evidence against her is over friggin' whelming.
Very sick in the head. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No.
She said he's very sick in the head. Very sick in the head. This is something that Ryan Murphy for Fox could not write. But she gets to join a group of women that nobody wants to sit at their table. Trust me, they don't wear pink on Wednesdays. Vamacat said, I'm sure this wasn't the first time she rented her baby out. Can't get anything past my friends here. Nope, the true crime community knows. This is from the Misery Machine. They brought out more information, if you could imagine. And we're going to go through it slowly because it's a lot to take in. And again, I'm trying to keep the show to a minimum because it is such a disturbing case. Fun to Ski said, you forgot Lori Vallow-Daybell in your lineup. Yes, I have to add her to it. I got to add a lot of women to it. That's the sad thing.
2016, Kamarie Linnell Holland was born to parents Corey Maurice Holland and Christy Marie Seipel Hoskins in Columbus, Georgia. She was an adorable little girl with a huge smile and a head full of curly blonde hair. Corey referred to his daughter as his little princess. In fact, that is exactly what Kamarie wanted to be when she grew up.
At the time of our story, Kamarie was living with her dad and her little brother Corey Jr. in Phoenix City, Alabama, but would occasionally go and visit her mom on weekends in Columbus, Georgia. These visits were supposed to be supervised. Christy, who also had two older kids, had lost custody of both Kamarie and Corey after being charged with chemical endangerment. While pregnant, she also tested positive for substance use.
All right. So, this wasn't exactly first time loser here. She already had a history of issues. Yes. So when someone tests positive for substances while they are carrying a child, she doesn't even know how many children she has. Anyone find that to be a problem? Look at that warrant.
One chilly winter morning, 911 dispatchers in Columbus received a frantic call. The caller was Kamarie's 35-year-old mother, Christy, who was having an unsupervised visit with both Kamarie and Corey Jr. When she went to bed, her daughter was supposedly snuggled up next to her. However, Christy awoke to find her 5-year-old daughter missing from her home located at 1607 Bowman Street. Whoever took her had left the door wide open.
It only took the police 17 hours to find Kamarie, but unfortunately the little girl was no longer among the living. Kamarie was pronounced dead at 11:15 p.m. that same evening. Her body was located less than 10 minutes away just across the Chattahoochee River in an abandoned house located at 1101 15th Avenue in Phoenix City. She had been asphyxiated and showed signs of SA. Her mother, Christy, made an emotional statement to reporters with WTVM Alabama. She stated, quote, "She was my life. I lived for her daily. She was my only girl. I have 3 boys and her. She was just the sweetest girl in the world. You could not harm that little girl because she was so innocent. She was so smart. She was perfect." End quote.
She also dropped by the news station during their annual toy drive. With her were all of little Kamarie's worldly belongings. She told them,
I'm Kamarie Holland's mommy, and she wouldn't want nothing in the world but to donate her toys to another little child that was in need because she was a very healthy child. And I seen this and I touched my heart, so I stopped. That's what she was, mommy. Let's help that mommy. She's like that. She's like that. We were at the gas station one time and we seen a family out there, and one of the little girls didn't have shoes on, and she said, "Mommy, we can help them, mommy, because I have so many pair of shoes at home, mommy. Let's give them my shoes, mommy." And of course, we gave them her shoes because she's that caring. She had a heart. She had a spirit that she's been here before, and she was a blessing. She is a blessing.
Police reviewed surveillance footage of the intersections around the house and quickly zeroed in on a suspect, 37-year-old Jeremy Tremaine Williams. Jeremy was currently out on bond and reportedly used to live in the Phoenix City address where Kamarie was found.
Took her to an abandoned house. I don't even want to think about how horrific her last moments were. And just when you think it cannot get any worse, well, it does. My friends, it does. We have heard about many horrible cases on this channel, and you've heard me mention this case several times. Normally at my end of the year, I say, this is the worst mother ever. She is the worst. And it's hard to take that crown away from Letitia Stout, but someone had to wear it. She is horrible.
A tipster led police to the Bamboo Motel in Opelika Road, where Jeremy and his uncle were staying. Jeremy was a regular at the motel where he was rumored to sell drugs to support his own habit. The police got lucky. Jeremy had just arrived 30 minutes prior. He was swiftly arrested and charged with homicide. On December 14th, police searched Jeremy's legal residence located at 1029 Dozier Street in Columbus, Georgia. However, details on what was found in the search have not been released.
Based on what we've already shared with you, I'm sure it's obvious that Jeremy isn't a stand-up guy. But in case you needed more proof, here's a list of Jeremy's other crimes, some of which go back 18 years.
Okay, before we get to all of this, boo-hoo for Jeremy. Boo-hoo. You know, he got shanked in the jail. He's been having panic attacks. He doesn't like being closed up. He's claustrophobic. Shut up. Shut up. Anyone who could even remotely have a thought like this about a child hell on earth is one thing, but you have hell waiting on you, buddy. And even the devil doesn't have enough time in his day to warm up your room. Look at all the terrible things he has done to other children.
In 2005, Jeremy's 1-month-old baby girl, Nadia Trinice Williams, was found dead. She had been beaten to death. Jeremy, as well as Nadia's mother, had been living together in North Pole, Alaska, where she was stationed at the Eielson Air Force Base. The baby's sudden death was scrutinized by the Air Force and the North Pole Police Department. Jeremy was originally considered a suspect at the time of Nadia's death, but investigators were unable to gather sufficient evidence to charge him. Her case eventually went cold. However, in the wake of Kamarie's death, Nadia's case was thankfully reopened. In 2009, Jeremy was arrested in Russell County and charged with aggravated CA after he was accused of submerging a 3-year-old boy into a pot of boiling water from his waist down. He was acquitted in 2012 due to lack of evidence.
Lack of evidence. Lack of evidence. Let me tell you something about lack of evidence. This is what happens when investigators, detectives, DAs rush to get someone charged, jailed, on the stand. It is a process, and it takes a long time to put everything together. I say it every day. Why the hell don't they just arrest them? I mean, what the hell? You got Sling Blade on your jury? You're telling me no one can understand what's going on? It has to be provable, and it takes time. Had they taken their time for him putting that little boy in that pot, This would never have happened to Kamarie. Not that I wanted it to happen to the little boy. Wimbles says, my favorite channel for the truth. Thank you, Wimbles. Thank you so much. Cray Cray said mustard and biscuits. That actually sounds good to me right now. This is what happens when they rush.
Investigators were unable to gather sufficient evidence to charge him. Her case eventually went cold. However, in the wake of Kamarie's death, Nadia's case was thankfully reopened. In 2009, Jeremy was arrested in Russell County and charged with aggravated CA after he was accused of submerging a 3-year-old boy into a pot of boiling water from his waist down. He was acquitted in 2012 due to lack of evidence. Jeremy claimed that the little boy pulled the pot from the stove down himself and spilled the scalding contents onto him. There was unfortunately no information we could find on who this boy was or Jeremy's relationship to him. August 1st, 2021, Jeremy was arrested in Muskogee County and charged with misdemeanor simple battery and 3rd-degree cruelty to a minor after he slapped his wife in the face in front of a child. He pled not guilty to the charges 10 days prior to Kamarie's death, and he was never convicted.
On December 12, 2021, the night before Kamarie Holland was killed, a Columbus police incident report indicated that an unidentified 31.
Sarah Lockhart said, what happened to the little boy? Whew. He was in the burn unit for quite a while. You can just imagine how bad his injuries were. My understanding is he still cannot talk about the incident.
August 1st, 2021, Jeremy was arrested in Muskogee County and charged with misdemeanor simple battery and 3rd-degree cruelty to a minor after he slapped his wife in the face in front of a child. He pled not guilty to the charges 10 days prior to Kamarie's death, and he was never convicted.
On December 12, 2021, the night before Kamarie Holland was killed, a Columbus police incident report indicated that an unidentified 31-year-old woman claimed that Jeremy Williams sodomized her. Now, according to the woman, the incident occurred at Jeremy's home on Dozier Street.
Okay, before we get to that, because this part is extremely disturbing, and by the way, the Misery Machine, amazing work they do. Y'all don't see me make videos because, well, I don't exactly have tight editing skills, if you know what I mean. Laura said, how are these POS still walking around? Easy. Weak DAs and weak judges. Weak. Used to be when I would go vote, I would just be like, oh, I don't care about those judges. But now I really look at them. Because that is the difference between a safe society and an unsafe society. Police can arrest all day, but guess what happens when they go in front of the judge? You're free on your own recognizance.
To the charges 10 days prior to Kamarie's death, and he was never convicted.
On December 12, 2021, the night before Kamarie Holland was killed, a Columbus police incident report indicated that an unidentified 31-year-old woman claimed that Jeremy Williams sodomized her. Now, according to the woman, the incident occurred at Jeremy's home on Dozier Street. She ended up at his home after an argument with her boyfriends. With nowhere to go, she allegedly reached out to a friend who put her in touch with Jeremy. Once in his home, the woman quickly began to feel uncomfortable and tried to leave, but Jeremy had blocked the door with a chest freezer. She alleged that he grabbed her from behind and forced her to perform lewd acts. During the attack, Jeremy called the woman by Kamarie's name and confessed to her that he had taught a 5-year-old how to perform oral. She claimed that she was only able to escape when she told Jeremy where he could purchase drugs. The two left his dojo.
Okay, yes, you did hear that correctly. Not really sure except for to put this up. Trigger, trigger, trigger warning. He's bragging to this woman that he taught a 5-year-old how to give the big O. Now, good news is, if there's any good news, that he was apprehended in Alabama, and yes, he is facing the death penalty. Now, he is claiming mental illness. Go figure, don't they all? Well, were you mentally ill when you put a freezer chest against the door and didn't let that woman out? And then the next day, you got some money to take Kamarie?
That he grabbed her from behind and forced her to perform lewd acts. During the attack, Jeremy called the woman by Kamarie's name and confessed to her that he had taught a 5-year-old how to perform oral. She claimed that she was only able to escape when she told Jeremy where he could purchase drugs. The two left his Dozier Street home and went to the store, where Jeremy allowed the frightened woman to use the bathroom. But she was unable to flee as she was made to leave her cell phone and other belongings behind. However, the woman had a second cell phone in her possession, which she used to call for help while she locked herself in the bathroom stall. She remained there until Jeremy eventually left. Perhaps her belongings were some of the items obtained during the December 14th search of his home, and would explain why the report was never made public.
However, Kamarie's death was not simply a case of stranger danger. In fact, it was later discovered that Christy and Jeremy actually knew one another. Christy was not the grieving mother that she was making herself out to be. She was arrested at a Circle K on December 28th at around 1 p.m. Russell County Sheriff Heath Taylor had these details to share at a press conference the following day.
I want to thank everybody for coming this morning. We have an update on our case with Kamarie. For the last several weeks, the Sheriff's Office here and the Columbus Police Department and Muskogee County Sheriff's Office has been working continuously on our case against Mr. Williams. And yesterday afternoon at around 1 o'clock in Columbus, we were able to arrest Christy Sipple, who is also known as Christy Hoskins. She was arrested there at the Circle K on Victory Drive. We had asked the...
Imagine Christy coming out of the Circle K getting her slushie and her Twinkies, and they arrest her right there. Like they said, this is not a case of stranger danger, and I love this channel. I love how they put things together. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. This was in Columbus, Georgia, and she was found across the Chattahoochee River in Alabama. Hence why there will be a death penalty, because in Alabama, they use the death penalty. And they don't ask me anything. I wish they would. I wish more states would use it. But again, this is not a case of stranger danger, and she was looking for all the sympathy in the world. But she is the one that facilitated this.
In Columbus, we were able to arrest Christy Sipple, who is also known as Christy Hoskins. She was arrested there at the Circle K on Victory Drive. we had asked the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force to help us locate her. They were gracious enough to do that and assist us with this case, and they were able to pick her up. She was taken to a judge in Columbus, where she signed her waiver of extradition to come back and answer the charges in Alabama. She was brought back to the sheriff's office by our investigators, and she was placed in the jail.
Christie was charged with homicide during the course of kidnapping, homicide during the course of SA, homicide during the course of sodomy, and human trafficking.
Let's hear those charges again, shall we? And look at her trying to look all cute. Like an Instagram hoe. Look at her. Let's look at her charges again. I hope no one has had breakfast.
To come back and answer the charges in Alabama. She was brought back to the sheriff's office by our investigators, and she was placed in the jail.
Christie was charged with homicide during the course of kidnapping, homicide during the course of SA, homicide during the course of sodomy, and human trafficking. Jeremy's charges were quite similar, but held capital weight. They also included two others: production of CP and misuse of a corpse.
But what exactly does this mean?
Let's talk about misuse of a corpse. Now, I don't exactly know how you can use a corpse in the right way. I don't make the laws. Everything that he filmed was post-mortem. Okay? This is beyond disgusting. And thank goodness that Alabama is piling on those charges. He will never see the light of day. He'll never see the light of day.
And how was the mother of four involved? According to news sources, Christie had come to a disgusting agreement with Jeremy in which she sold her daughter to the 37-year-old man for an undisclosed sum of money. Remember that 5-year-old girl that Jeremy mentioned to his victim earlier in the episode?
During the attack, Jeremy called the woman by Kamarie's name and confessed to her that he had taught a 5-year-old how to perform oral.
That was Kamarie. Even more horrific, Jeremy allegedly videotaped the whole thing, and all of these vile acts were committed post-mortem.
Their trials were supposed to begin in September of 2022, but it appears that they have been delayed as there hasn't been any activity as of the date of this recording. If they are found guilty of their crimes, the death penalty is on the table as Kamarie was killed in the state of Alabama. It should also be noted that Alabama allows a judge to impose a death sentence without unanimous jury recommendation if at least 10 of the 12 jurors are in favor of it.
Following Christie's arrest, Kamarie's father, Corey, released the following.
You know, I absolutely love that. Well, I love nothing about this case. But that in certain states, instead of having to have unanimous, all 12 people agree, if the majority agrees, you might have two dumbasses that just don't understand. You know, can't understand normal thinking. You know what I'm saying. So you don't have to have all 12. And I'm all about that. Because I don't know what irritates me more. Weak judges or weak jurors or weak DAs.
How to perform oral.
That was Kamarie. Even more horrific, Jeremy allegedly videotaped the whole thing, and all of these vile acts were committed post-mortem.
Their trials were supposed to begin in September of 2022, but it appears that they have been delayed as there hasn't been any activity as of the date of this recording. If they are found guilty of their crimes, the death penalty is on the table as Kamarie was killed in the state of Alabama. It should also be noted that Alabama allows a judge to impose a death sentence without unanimous jury recommendation if at least 10 of the 12 jurors are in favor of it.
Following Christie's arrest, Kamarie's father, Corey, released the following statement, quote, "The amount of pain Christie has caused by ripping Kamarie out of our lives will never cease. We are glad to see that she has been arrested. We are one step closer to justice for Kamarie. We hope that justice is served. Christie should receive whatever maximum penalty she can get. She's a monster. A real mother protects and would die for her children," end quote.
Kamarie's funeral was held on December 21st, 2021 at the Taylor Funeral Home located at 1514 5th Avenue in Phoenix City, Alabama.
We come humbly unto your throne of mercy. As we're gathered here on today, all across the country, to come and praise your name and to thank you for all that you've done. Our little princess has gone home to be with you. But we're grateful and thank you. Thank you for all that you've done in her life. Though her years were short, we still give you honor, still give you praise for this family. Encourage their hearts. Encourage Corey's and Christian. We lift both of these families up to you. Touch them in a mighty way. Do what only you can. Speak a word from heaven. We'll surely give you all the honor. We'll give you all the praise. Now as we come to this preaching moment, give this your servant the power and the strength to speak a word to your people. Hide me behind your cross, that they might see you and not me. That they may know power is of you and you alone. So we give you honor and praise. In Jesus' name, we do pray. Amen.
Kamarie's obituary painted a vivid picture of the wonderful little girl that she was. In close, we'd like to share a bit about this beautiful soul.
Kamarie was born to an extremely proud and loving father, Corey Maurice Holland, and mom, Christy Marie Seipel, in Columbus, Georgia on November 23, 2016. Every day forward, she had been a true ray of sunshine in everyone's lives. She resided in Phoenix City, Alabama with her dad and little brother, Corey Jr. Kamarie had the biggest heart a little girl could have. She was always happy and smiling. Talking, singing, dancing, and recording videos were some of her most favorite hobbies. Everyone who knows Kamarie knows her to be a genuinely loving kid that absolutely loved her father and little brother. She was the boss of them both. Kamarie's father affectionately called her his little princess, and that's exactly who she identified herself as, a princess. In the words of her father, Kamarie was so intelligent and full of love. On August 16th, 2021, Kamarie started her first day of preschool at Just for Kids with Mrs. Roberson as her pre-K teacher. She absolutely loved school, socializing, and learning. Sadly, Kamarie went to sleep in heavenly peace on Monday, December 13th, 2021. She was a social butterfly that will be truly and deeply missed.
CR gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships, and today is our friend CR's birthday. Let's take a second to tell our friend CR happy birthday. Happy birthday, CR. Thank you for all you do for the channel and for the victims. Because as you know, this channel is on the victim's side. Now, I had a question I had on the screen earlier from SL saying, why are we not hearing about this? Well, I'm gonna get it to you. I'm gonna give it to you. Probably gonna get myself in trouble for this. But the mainstream media does not like to tell us about what's really going on. You see, the devil wears a lot of faces. They like to talk about the screenwriters' strike in Hollywood as if anyone gives two shits in a bucket. They like to defend terrorists. That's what the mainstream media does. And it is horrific. They're not our media. It is what they want to feed us. And some people are just dumb enough to sit around and lap it up. Well, this has got to be what's going on because I just saw it on the Today Show. Look, I watch the Today Show because I think Craig Melvin is handsome. And I think Al Roker is just as cute as a bug's ear. Other than that, I know where to find my news. Not that you're going to get it here, but be aware. Be aware. This is part of the service that they had for little Kamarie.
Evil has entered our community. Evil has affected our family. I know there's some who sit here even today who will even try to say, why did God allow this to happen? The Bible says that life in this world is like a mist. Yes, sir.
Her mom allowed it to happen. God brought her home.
He says, for a little while, it appears. And a little while later, it's all gone. Even in the midst of our tears, even in the midst of our hurt and our pain, even in the midst of all of the heartache that we're enduring right now, it is important for us to do as this community has done. That is to show love even in the face of evil. Because I know that God loves children. And I know that God loves princesses. And I know that God will not allow anything that would harm Princess in a way that would harm her eternally. I thank God she's safely in his hands. I thank God that she's out of this world. I thank God that she's safe not to experience any more harm, hate, or danger. I thank God that she's safe with him. But most of all, I thank God that I'll see her again. I thank God.
Kamarie!
Absolutely sickening. Mr. J. Quinn said, this makes me cry. I don't understand what this world has become. Susie Sue said, harming children will bring God down to this earth. You better believe it. You better believe it. Because every time we turn around, you know what? It would be a great day if I came on here one day and said, you know what? We don't have anything to talk about. How are you doing? Let me tell you about what OJ's been up to. There's nothing going on. But these monsters just keep on and keep on and keep on hurting our most vulnerable humans on this planet, and that's our children. You want to meet Jesus? You're going to meet him, but it's going to be on his terms. His own words were, you might as well put a millstone around your neck as opposed to hurting one of these little ones. She did not deserve this. She did not deserve to have the mother that she had, and I can't even call her a mother, the egg donor. Her father is an amazing human being, and he's gotten quite a bit of heat himself, but he doesn't deserve it, in my opinion. He doesn't deserve it. He is a loving father. You know, when I spoke to him the other day, he was like, I can't do the show on Friday. He's like, I'm getting ready for my daughter's birthday party over the weekend. And I mean, he has to keep on keeping on. Kathy said, loved your advice about voting and judges. It matters. Yes, it does. I think about the judge in the Harvey Montgomery case. That fat bastard should not have ever been on the stand. If you call me simple, but if you have bad judgment, you can't be a goddamn judge. That's what you're there for. Your judgment. And I should never say the GD word. That's a horrible thing to say. Please forgive me. I'm not mad at God. I'm just mad at what this world has become. That is not a normal word that I use at all. OJ's actually looking at me right now going, why are you saying the GD word? That's not what I should say. That's a horrible thing to say. But guys, I appreciate you all being here. I know this has been a very, very hard show. Very hard show. And thank you, No said, did mom do this more than once? Yep. Yep. Because old Jeremy bragged to a woman that he was attacking, and he insisted that he could call her Kamarie. Yeah. You've got to be kidding me. 5 years old. I know people want to blame CPS. Well, they should have been supervising. They should have been supervising. Yes, they should have been. Yes, they should have been. But what the hell is wrong with this mother that she doesn't have the wherewithal to get off the drugs and protect her baby? She served her up to a monster. Disgusting. Thank you all for being here. Like I said, I was just trying to keep this show to under an hour. Of course, I went over an hour. There's a lot to discuss. But I appreciate you all for being here. And again, I apologize for saying the GD word. That is not how I speak. I speak a lot nastier than that, But these are sick, sick people. It goes without saying that we have to watch everyone our children go around. Everyone. But in this case, again, it was not a stranger danger. It was not stranger danger. She planned it all. Hello, Dallas. Okay, I apologize. I had to sneeze. Tiffany said a 5-year-old baby. Yep. Absolutely disgusting. Tiffany, you've had a lot to say. Do you want to grab the link and come up and say something? Give some words of wisdom? Because it's just absolutely disgusting. But I want to thank the mod squad because I know these shows are not easy to moderate, let alone listen to. And again, I say it every day and I mean it every day. Thank you for being the best chat and the best community on these nasty YouTube streets. I will see you back here tomorrow morning. I was going to do a 2 for 2 today, but I'm a little behind. I've got some other stuff going on, adulting and all. But I'm going to be back tomorrow because we have a show about Michael Vaughn that really, really needs to be discussed. So in the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your Taco Tuesday, and I will see you back here tomorrow morning.